Hey there, it's DIY Rob. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made a DIY lamp base for my IKEA tertial lamp. And this enables me basically to be able to create videos using my phone attachment while moving the base wherever I need it to go and not be limited by the fixed base that was provided by IKEA, which, as you know, enables you to only have the lamp attached to a corner of a table. So this is useful also if you have one of these lamps and you're tired of being fixed to that base here and you want to have something you can freely move around. There are lamps that you can buy with the base, a solid heavy base. I think they're called architect lamps, but they're incredibly expensive. So searching online, I was looking for the heaviest thing I can get for the cheapest price, and someone on the forum mentioned soil mod. And so I had a nice idea to use a block. Now this is a simple block used to decorate the floor outside of your house or on the walkways. You basically, you put this on the floor. I don't think it's used to build houses. You just place it on the floor and you can see it's designed all around and you have a nice walkway. So this cost me, I think, around 90 to 100 Hungarian forints, which is around 30 cents. They are incredibly cheap because you need a lot of them to do the work or to cover a vast span of a vast area. So they are incredibly cheap and quite heavy too. So just measuring, I can see that it's around 2,700, and I'm going to put how many pounds that is on the screen now. So you can see it's relatively heavy, and that's exactly what we need. The next step is to, obviously this is going to continue to release dust and sand from it. So next, what I did was, with sellotape, just basic tape, I wrapped around very neatly the whole block. And then you have to drill a hole in it that is the same size or just a little bit bigger than the hole, than this stuff here that goes in like so, like this. So obviously the IKEA stuff is just around 13 centimeters. So you want just a little bit bigger than that. Yeah, around 14, 15 centimeters, millimeters, I mean, the hole. You drill just as deep as this is tall. And once that is done, you try to clean it off as much as possible. And then the next step is important. If not, you end up scratching your lamp here because there is sand in here. What I did next was I used a piece of hard paper, something harder than this, carton paper I mean, to wrap around this. I filled in here with hot glue and then I put the piece inside. So the base of this is actually hot glue, and once it gets hard, it gives a soft cushion to this to sit on and keeps the paper in place there. Obviously the paper, once it was wrapped around here, was glued so as to make a cylinder, just like a toilet paper cylinder, but only in this size. And once it's in, with the hot glue still very hot, you push it in and that paper is held on. So you basically have a hole that is protected, and you can see even while using for a very long time, there is hardly any scratches on this IKEA lamp because there is paper inside and the lamp base stuff is sitting on top of that hot glue. And you can see that while sitting, this doesn't hit the block surface, and it's free to rotate fully. Now you could expand on this by drilling in a hole with a hook so it's easier to carry around, but for me I just didn't need that. So once you have this block with the hole inside and everything well protected inside, like I said, you can then end up using any kind of paper, wrapping paper for gifts or whatever design you want. You could paint it if you don't mind, but since I use this inside in my office, I don't want any sand coming out of it onto my desk. So I then used this wrapping paper to just neatly, you can see this is where I cut, this is where I glued, and you just want to neatly wrap this block like a gift, and that's it. All the sand, all the particles remain inside of this sellotaped block, and you have a very clean base for your lamp. Now, it's very important to drill this hole off center, because while the lamp's center of gravity remains inside, you don't have a problem if it's in the center drilled the hole. But once you start to expand the arm, because maybe you want to keep the base out of the shot, and you start to seriously expand the arm, then it becomes very unstable. So by giving it much more room in front, this is going to prevent the tipping over, because the center of gravity will remain a bit less towards inside. What am I saying? This piece of block here is going to act as a kind of foot that prevents the force here tipping over, and you can see that I can almost have a full extension on that camera, and because there isn't enough force, turning force, that is going to push this, you can see once, even if I try to nudge it, it continues to come back to its resting position there. So that's a very important point where you want to drill, and this is going to make it very, very stable if you can drill a little bit, let's say 2/3 of the way back. And so there you go. I am not a fancy guy, so I didn't paint or design or do anything. For me, it's perfectly all right. But if you are some art and craft inclined person, you could make this look very, very good. So I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching, and take care.